Yo, I think we are back. Third time's a charm. Let's get this fucking stream going, man. Looks like it's
Looks clear.
looks like it's clear. Doesn't seem to be lagging.
What is up, Phenoms? What's cool is that you guys are like having your own show without us right now. And we don't really have to be here, but we're gonna be here on the side, so you guys do your own thing and we'll be here talking.
We were just talking about that. You guys are literally having uh you guys are literally talking. You're doing the show without us, man. You guys are all going through plays and everything. It's awesome. I love it, man. Um Okay, so since this is the start of a new video, let me just clarify real quick. For those of you that are in here, I'm sorry. You're here for the third time. We launched a subscription tonight. Tonight's the last night that you'll get the free sheets. If you're new to the show, the link is in the description. It's right below. If you are not new and you already have it, make Kyle's PC great again. That's fucking hilarious. If you're already on the list, make sure you check your email. I sent out an email with the link for the grandfathered price. And that's just for rolling with us from the beginning. Things like that, you know. Again, when you go to sign up, it'll obviously say, you know, the price, PayPal, subscription, whatever. Once you finalize the payment, there'll be two buttons. It'll say return to PayPal or return to Fantasy Phenom. Make sure you click return to Fantasy Phenom because it'll take you to the new group where you just request to join that. So after that, you're good to go, and you should be good. If you happen to have any trouble, shoot me a message on Facebook, shoot me an email. I will cross-reference your email with the PayPal and however it is, and we'll go from there, and I'll get you signed up in the group. So,
Yeah, when you're going through it, guys, just take it step by step. You know, there's no reason to rush through it. Just take it step by step, and it's really not too hard to figure out. But we just thank you guys for all the support, and this is just going to enable this whole movement to gain momentum, and I don't know, great things are coming in the next few weeks.
man, it's awesome. I'm so juiced tonight.
Yeah, I've already said it. I'll keep saying it. It's only been 2 weeks. I mean, I can't imagine what's going to be going forward.
Someone just asked where the disclaimer is. That is coming. Fantasy Phenom is in the way of, or I'm sorry, not in the way. It's in the process of forming into the business again. Sports Swirl was one. Obviously, that disbanded, so it's another whole process of starting a whole new business. So I'm just waiting for that to be finalized. But right now it's with the state, and everything looks good. So once that's good to go, we'll be good to go, and we'll have our disclaimer back. So you guys will get to hear that at the start of every show. I know you're excited.
Best part of the show. Hey, man, but like you said, today's a good day.
Man, I got a full glass of whiskey. I've already drank half of it because I'm so stoked.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Cheers,
I
buddy.
feel you.
So, all right. So, obviously, to cover some bases real quick, as you guys have seen in the last two emails, we do have DraftKings projections. Those are going. A user or viewer has been submitting. He sent me two lineups both 2 days, and the projections look pretty good. The largest point differential was 15 points, and that was for. It was for one of the stars. I think they either missed by 15 or hit over by 15. One of the two. But after that, it was all within 6 points. So that's extremely, extremely encouraging to see. That, you know, these DraftKings projections are 2 days old, and they're within 6 points. So that tells me that I have the right formula. So
It was probably Mike Conley. I mean, the dude had a career high. There's no projection in the world that's gonna come close to a career high from Mike Conley. What is it, 10th year in the league?
yeah, shit. Yeah. But he just got his max thing. His max
He
contract.
crushed tonight. Yeah, he crushed tonight.
But so yeah, so I'm working on the optimizer. As I was saying, I have work in a couple hours. I work at I have to get ready for work at 4:30. But as soon as I'm working on the optimizers for DraftKings right now. So starting, you'll get two different sheets. So there'll be a DraftKings and a FanDuel one. and then you'll get to obviously choose download both, download either one, whichever one you want to play. But you'll now have choices. It'll be nice. Run the optimizer for either or. Just good things are coming, man. It's getting there for sure. So,
look, we're spending all of our time on this. I know you guys see it. Like, we're coming out with new things. We have new ideas. We have ideas that we don't have time to act on yet. You know, it's insane, but it's awesome, and it all starts right here with this YouTube show, and you guys watching this show and trying to win money tomorrow, or tonight, or whenever you're watching this.
Yeah, buddy. Just a quick thing. I'm gonna try and get updated sheets out tomorrow. I should be able to. But I do have school right after work. Actually, you know what? I don't. I get off at 1 o'clock, so I have between 1 and 3. So the updated sheets will be out a little earlier than normal. They'll probably be about 2:30, but I will get them out for you guys. So be patient, and we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My sleep schedule has been adjusted. I mean, as you can see, I'm probably more animated now than I was last week because I've adjusted my entire sleep cycle around this. So if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. There is no locked show tomorrow. I'm starting a new class. I'm taking some classes in web design, so no locked show Tuesdays and Thursdays going forward. So that's kind of a shitty thing, but it's only 2 days a week. It's got to be on your shit, guys.
And then, make sure if you're following that Twitter page, by the way, because Mike is now posting injury news and potential pivots based on injury news to Twitter, along with Vegas lines. So we're adding more content.
Every day.
Science just said he used to work the early morning flow team. Bro, I did that for a day, and I said I can't do it. That was back when I was in high school, though. Those are the guys that unload the truck.
They're flowing, huh?
Yeah, they get to stock the shelves.
The flow team sounds cool until I guess you get hired and you're like, fuck, this is not cool.
I'm just reading some of the comments. Jay, it's hard to sleep on cocaine.
Stop.
Oh, man. I love this group, man. I really do.
That's right. Wait for the website. You guys are going to have your own spots and everything. It's going to be great.
Well, with the website, we're going to work on creating custom profiles for you guys, too. So that's something me and Mike were talking about that's really exciting. Is obviously we'll have a forum, right? And so each person will have their own custom profile. And you get to choose how much you disclose on there, right? But I think it'll be, and Mike came up with this idea, but I like it. I think it'll be a really good way to kind of show, you know, you can post, like, you know, what you've won DraftKings, FanDuel-wise, your username, things like that, where you're from. It's an easier way to connect to people, and it can be more personal. So really excited about that as well. So a great idea from Mike.
Yeah, you guys can connect even more, and it's endless, man. It's endless, and it all starts. It's only been 2 weeks, like I said. So we just got to keep rolling and keep spending all our time on this, coming out with new content, and by you guys, you know, paying for these sheets starting out, it's just enabling more stuff to happen, more and more time for us to spend on it.
Yes, sir. All right, well, let's look at tomorrow, Mike. We got 6 games to look forward to. Charlotte and Portland, Kemba and Dame.
So I am looking at Kemba in tournaments tomorrow, but I'm not so much going to look at Dame. I think in that price range on DraftKings, it's looking like in tournaments it's going to be Holiday or Kemba. I guess Dame is in that conversation as well. He's playing at home against Kemba, so it's not a bad matchup, but
I like Dame tomorrow. I do.
I don't know. What, the same price on FanDuel?
Yeah,
so they're two tournament plays, obviously same type of upside, and yeah, perhaps you pick one of the two to pay up at point guard in tournaments tomorrow. Which would you pick?
I gotta go Dame. I do.
Again, maybe playing DFS every day kind of handcuffs me into thinking Kemba Walker because of what Damian Lillard's done over the last week.
Yeah, it hasn't been good, but
He hasn't been good over the last week, and so probably that's why I'm thinking Kemba, but I could see why you'd say Dame too. It's just, like I said, when you play every day, you get into these weekly trends of this guy's bad when it's really Dame Lillard, you know?
So, we haven't got to shooting guard yet, but Nick Batum's going to go back to Portland. Fuck.
Yeah, I looked this up for you, for everybody.
That might be something, speaking of that, actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to go Kemba because I love stacking those two. And if I'm gonna throw Batum down tomorrow, I think you have to throw him with Kemba.
I think Kemba has been a safer bet to get to 50 over the past, 5 to 10 games than Dame Lillard has been. And that's what you're looking for. Which one of these guys do you think is a safer bet to get to 50 in a tournament?
Yeah, I agree. I like Kemba tomorrow. I like both, but is Mudiay back tomorrow? Do we know if he's for sure?
He's listed as questionable. He's been doubtful most of this week. He's missed 5 games, and now he's listed as questionable. He's going to travel with the team on this road trip, but from everything I'm reading, it looks like he's going to be out at least one more game against LA.
And Jokic is out.
Jokic is out, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jamal Murray has popped up on the list with an illness. He left practice early to go see the doctor because he was sick. So he's listed as questionable in this game as well.
Kenneth Reed has a hamstring injury. Wilson Chandler has a neck injury.
Yeah, but they're both listed as probable. And if you look at what the Nuggets have done all year, I don't think that's going to. I think they're going to play. They've been listed as probable the last few games, and they played.
It's just crazy.
What's crazy?
All the injuries, yeah, for Denver. Like, apparently everyone's on the injury list.
say that if Murray and Mudiay are both out, that backcourt is limited to Nelson and Barton. And Barton and Gary Harris. They have 3 guys in the backcourt, and I think Nelson and Gary Harris are going to be somewhat cash consideration against this Lakers team if there's no Mudiay or Murray,
By the way, Mudiay and D'Angelo Russell hate each other. And
really?
Yeah. I think D'Angelo said some shit about D'Angelo said some shit about Mudiay a while back. I forget what it was. But D'Angelo Russell's always at the center of controversy.
I know they were the same high school class, and Mudiay was the top of the high school class, so that could play into it.
But D'Angelo Russell's also a game time decision, so I don't know who's going to play from this game. Oh, it says he has been cleared to play.
D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah, he's been cleared to play.
That's news to me. Huh. Well, I don't know. Last I saw that he was going to be questionable for this game, if not doubtful. But even if he does play, I don't like him.
I don't either. I think he's going to be on a minutes restriction. He's first game
back.
I
said, I really think there's going to be some cash plays in that backcourt for Denver if Mudiay and Murray are both out. Just because of the minutes those guys are going to have to play against a Lakers team that is shown to give up a lot of points to backcourt.
Yes, sir.
But Russell being back kind of limits my exposure to Clarkson, Young, and Lou Will.
Nah, I'm going all Lou Will tomorrow. I already tell you that.
Oh yeah, I'm so high. I'm just saying, I wish he wasn't playing so I could even be more high on him.
I see what you're saying, yeah. But no, I'm definitely going all Lou Will tomorrow. I'll be up straight right now. Up front, straight up. You know what I mean.
Straight up front. Lou Will, book it.
I'm kind of buzzed. I'm feeling good. I'm all over the place.
Well, someone who's not really been all over the place lately is Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry without DeMar DeRozan, he's been pretty efficient. And,
what about Drew Holiday?
Drew Holiday, yeah. So I've slept on this guy. All you guys know that.
We both have. I said I didn't like him last time at his price, and he went out and balled again.
Yeah, so he has 20-point double-doubles in 3 of his last 4 games. One of those games was versus John Wall defense. He's got 50-plus DK points in 3 of those last 4, and he's averaging 34.4 over the season. So he's had 50-plus DraftKings points in 3 of his last 4, but he's averaging under 35 for the season. So he's obviously in a stretch.
He's hot as fuck right now.
I mean, you see there on FanDuel, he averages 31 points on the season. So
yeah.
The fact that he's going over 50, I mean, is this like the new game plan for the Pelicans?
Just have
Drew Holiday, boom, like you are our new Russell Westbrook. I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. At least he doesn't get injured every other play.
Yeah, there's that to be said.
You can count
maybe they're banking on that.
You can count on Drew a little more. You have to put him more involved in the offense.
I did look into it, and so the one game in that, so it was like I said, 3 out of 4. He had a 20-point double-double, and that one game he didn't. Tyreek Evans had himself a game and an uptick in usage, and so there's perhaps a negative correlation where if Tyreek Evans' usage, he has a big usage game, like he's feeling it. It generally is probably going to mean that Holiday isn't. So, I mean, I guess you look at Evans' matchup. He's not really playing big minutes. He's still off the bench. So, I don't know. Just something to consider.
I love Kyle Lowry even with DeRozan back tomorrow, though. At home against Drew Holiday defense.
Yeah, so with cash, you're paying up in cash. I think you're either going Lowry or Wall tomorrow. Whichever you can afford.
I would go Wall, but, I mean...
They both have safe floors, and they both are, they know what their upside is.
John Wall absolutely torched the Knicks last time they played, I believe. Didn't he have, 40-something FanDuel points at half?
Yeah, he had a great first quarter. I mean, he cooled off. I think he ended up with, I can give you a slash line right here.
He had 58.5 FanDuel points last time they played.
Yeah, 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals in 37 minutes. It was a 3-point game in which the Knicks scaled somewhat of a comeback. The Wizards only had a 13-point fourth quarter. This game was without Porzingis and was without Joakim Noah. So there's that to consider as far as box scores. I generally don't like reading box scores, but there's that to consider.
Give me John Wall tomorrow. Give me John Wall and Boogie tomorrow. Those are my 2 stars.
Yeah, John Wall in cash all day for sure. I mean,
Boogie had 67 points tonight.
I told you he he was 20 for 22 from the foul line today.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, I wanted to mention that I had one of the viewers. He actually reached out to me. Really, really good point. And this is something we'll look into, and we'll start to put it into projections once I have more time. Is monitoring refs. So obviously, just like in the NFL, you have crews, right, of refs, and some refereeing crews call more fouls than others. And so if we can pinpoint which ref crews call more fouls and who's reffing what game.
I mean, I think it's thin unless you're talking about Boogie. Like, Boogie is like the only person that I would follow that metric on.
I think you can apply it to any star.
No, I don't. I mean, but especially Boogie. Like, he draws. I mean, I guess Harden too is another person I think you could get to, but someone that probably draws close to, that takes over 10 foul shots a game. I mean, I don't know that there's many people in the NBA that take over 10 foul shots a game on average.
I think
for under 10 foul shots, I think that's just kind of a waste of time as far as research.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it correlates. It's definitely something I'm interested in looking at.
Yeah, why not, man? Anything to get an edge, right?
The more we can add to it, yep.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook in San Antonio tomorrow. I don't like. I mean, Russell Westbrook will probably still have his game, but I'd rather go Wall.
So Westbrook and Harden, if you had to pick tomorrow.
John Wall.
Okay. No, you're not going to even fuck with me with this?
I'm not going either. I'm not going to roster either.
All right, fine. We won't talk about it then.
We're talking about midgets in the chat right now.
You guys know what it is. Westbrook and Harden. I mean, it's almost February. So.
Do you see the chat right now?
Wow. See, this is why we need to go on a little earlier, Kyle.
I fucking love you guys, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can share stories too, but it's not appropriate.
We've already heard your war stories, Mike.
It's only some.
All right, so Tony Parker, he could be sneaky against Russell Westbrook. That could be a sneaky play tomorrow.
His price seems to stay where it's at, and he's like one of those guys where once a week or once every other week he has a big game, and the rest of his games aren't anywhere near that, and so it keeps his price low.
He has the matchup tomorrow.
So I could see it in tournaments if you're trying to. He's a safe, tournament punt.
And then I think I'm gonna fade Pat Beverly tomorrow and Darren Collison. Actually, no, I take that back. I take that back. I think Pat Beverly could be in play.
Could be. Again, I mean, I always like going against Collison. I always look at that matchup.
Yeah.
I always look at that matchup. I don't know if. See, Brandon Jennings is the same price as Beverly on DraftKings, and I'm looking. I guess I would look at Jennings more in a tournament. I guess Pat Bev is more of a cash game play, but I could see you playing Jennings in both if you have that. That's all you have left. We didn't really talk about Jennings, but if Rose is out, is he not a point guard on FanDuel?
Who?
Brandon Jennings.
No, he is.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about Jennings, but if Derrick Rose is out, Brandon Jennings is averaging 33 minutes and 27.5 DraftKings points starting in place of Derrick Rose. And his usage gets a bump from 18% to 22% if he's starting.
Okay.
So for what it's worth, I think he can be a good play at 5,100 on DraftKings.
So Nick Batum, obviously. I mean, there's not... His price dropped, too. It's down to 7,300. That makes it even easier. That's an even easier decision for me.
Okay, well, here I have caution for you. So I looked up. He's only played in Portland once.
Okay.
Since he's been traded. Or I don't think he was traded. Was he just... He just signed with... Yeah, he just left, right. So since he left Portland, he's been back there once. It was actually January 29th of last year, so ironically very close. He had 3 points, was 1 of 11, and it's with 6 turnovers.
Perfect. Fire him up tomorrow.
So maybe he's like wants to prove. I don't know. Maybe last time he had like an ex-girl in Portland, and she was going to be there, and like he was feeling some type of way about that, and like he got in his head, and so he was, he went off. He didn't go off, but maybe that's all behind him now.
That or he didn't get her, and now he's going to come back even harder.
Yeah, that too. Who knows?
Nick Batum's going to have a good game tomorrow. I just don't see how he doesn't have a good game.
Revenge factor, Nick Batum against C.J. McCollum.
CJ, I think if you have to pick between Dame and CJ again, I ride with CJ right now. CJ's been more clutch in his shots. Did you see that step back 3 that he made against the Warriors?
Yeah, he was feeling it that night. I actually had him in my lineup.
I did too. I was the very last cash. Very last one to cash.
So, I guess paying up at shooting guard, you're looking at those 2 guys, right?
Yep. But I love Gary Harris tomorrow. And Will Barton. Both of them, depending on who plays.
Yeah, I like Gary Harris tomorrow, too. I really do. I think that's where I'm going tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to go either Batum or McCollum. I think I'm going to look mid-range here at Lou Will, Gary Harris. I think the most expensive I'm going to go is Bradley Beal. I don't know if I'm going to do Batum or McCollum.
Give me Lou Williams. I don't even care that he's 6,200. Give me Lou Williams.
Yeah, I mean...
You can just delete this price. It doesn't matter. Like, give me Lou Williams. You can put him at James Harden price. Give me Lou Williams.
So you're going to get the 5 times value tomorrow? 61? He's only 5,500 on DraftKings. I like it, man. I really like it if D'Angelo Russell's out. Like, really, really like it in tournaments. But I think it's pretty obvious to me at shooting guard, I like Lou Williams in tournaments and Gary Harris in cash if this injury news pans out the way I think it will.
Honestly, you can play both tomorrow. Both these teams
Yeah,
are
they're both
terrible
in
against
play,
shooting guards.
but they're like locks for me at those two spots if the injury news pans out. You know what I'm saying?
I might lock them in anyway. Both these teams are so bad against everything, shooting guards especially. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Fuck it, let's just lock them both in there. Someone just said Lou is Kyle's new canter. I need a Lou Williams jersey now.
So Theo's saying that Batum was traded.
Okay.
Word. Thanks for pointing that out, man. That's even better. It's even more reason, you know. Ride the narrative train. He's due for a big game too. He's been kind of riding. Yeah, no, Nick Batum. He's been kind of riding that 5 times value line. He's due for a big one.
DeMar DeRozan's in play tomorrow.
Yeah, I played DeRozan the other day. He almost had 40 points his first game back. Real cheap on what is he on FanDuel?
8,900.
Yeah, he's only 78 on DraftKings. I think you can go there. So Batum, DeRozan, or McCollum if you're paying up at shooting guard. Or Beal. I'll throw Beal in there too.
This is a true statement.
Now, who'd you pick?
Batum.
They're all in good spots.
Batum. Bradley. Actually,
I think I'm going Bradley Beal.
Yeah, give me Bradley Beal. Fuck it. Bradley Beal against the Knicks. Can we get
in cash? I think I go Batum, but in tournaments, I think I go Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal is definitely a much riskier play, so I don't know how confident you feel with him in cash, but I agree.
Yeah, no peripherals. You know, in comparison to Batum.
Don't talk shit about Bradley Beal.
Talking it, man.
Do you think we got a 6 overtime game tomorrow?
That was the Syracuse UConn 6 overtime. They only did 4. They ain't shit.
Hey shit. Didn't UConn win that game, by the way?
No, they did not win that game.
Oh, that's upsetting.
No, that was the best game we've ever watched.
OKC and San Antonio. Victor Oladipo is absolutely in play. San Antonio against shooting guards is mucho basura. That was my attempt at Spanish.
So yeah, feels like everybody's in play at shooting guard tomorrow.
A lot of it's value too. You can get a lot of value tomorrow.
So we have to pick and choose here. I mean, that's why I'm gonna take Victor Oladipo out of play, because even though he is play, it could be a good play. At some point, you got to narrow it down. You know.
I'll do that for you. Lou Williams and Gary Harris.
Lou Williams, Gary Harris. Here, I mean, I'll narrow it to 5. Lou Will, Gary Harris, Beal, Batum, and Eric Gordon.
Okay. I'm not touching James Harden tomorrow. I know he's in a good matchup, but I'm good. I might
do it.
Unless some serious value opens up, I'm not going to do the stars and scrubs tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. There really isn't any serious value. Like, there's no way I could play James Harden in cash like I normally like to. Because the value that's on the slate isn't cash worthy, similar to today. And I got super tilted today trying to make it work with the studs.
Looking at small forward, I like... You know what? I think I can go Kemba, Batum, and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist stack tomorrow.
I don't know if that's too smart. But I think all of those guys are in play. I think I pick at least two, 2 out of the 3 at most. I think small forward is the opposite of shooting guard. Like, there really is, I feel like I'm picking and choosing at small forward today.
I'll give you one Gallo.
I don't know. I think I like Wilson Chandler more today.
Give me Gallo.
All right. I'll take Wilson Chandler. If you look at DVP for power forwards, it's especially if Julius Randle doesn't play.
Julius
I don't
Randle's
know.
already been ruled out.
Yeah. Okay. So he's already ruled out.
And
So
Jokic is out.
there's no Julius Randle. So there will be some value there, but pinpointing it is going to be tough. Luke Walton has kind of showed that he has shifted his rotation based on matchups. Like he doesn't like last game with Randle out, they played Tariq Black 33 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 5 minutes this game. So it's like it's just depending on like what the matchup is. I don't know who's gonna.
Do you think they can go Brandon Ingram and Luol Deng tomorrow, 3 and 4? That wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, Brandon Ingram's been suffering for minutes. He barely got over 20 the last 2 games.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like this is the type of game for that, because you're gonna have Kenneth Faried at the 4, who's not a huge guy. So Tariq Black doesn't match up with that at all.
Well, I think, okay, so this is what I'm thinking on Denver's side. So I'm thinking that we're going to see a lot more Faried at the 5 like we did against Phoenix. I mean, Faried played 37 minutes against Phoenix, and Nurkic only played 15. So I think we're going to see a good bit of Faried at the 5, being that it's also another small ball type team. But with Randle out, you'd feel like there'd be some value there, but it is really hard to pinpoint because of the differences between the rotations from game to game.
My gut tells me that the money is going to come from this game. Whoever can guess the value correctly is going to win the money.
Yeah, definitely. If I had to give my 2 cents about who is going to get the extra run without Randle, I think you got to look at Zubats, and I think you have to consider, like you said, Ingram or Black, whatever you think is the better matchup.
I think they go Ingram tomorrow. I do.
But I also think that makes Chandler a better play than Gallo.
That is true as well.
The thing with Chandler, though, is here are his minutes over the last 5. 23, 34, 20, 31, 23. So does this mean he's in line for a 30-minute game? You know, it's just, I don't know, man. His salary is low enough that you can take a flyer on him in tournaments, I think, in this matchup, in this game total, too.
I could roll with that.
It's just very interesting. I couldn't pinpoint where the value is going to come and where the plays are in this front court on either side.
Against New Orleans, I don't know if I really want to play either of the Toronto forwards.
Yeah, I'm off that position in that game for sure. There is much limited small forward spots tomorrow.
Melo against New York.
Melo against New York, yeah, all day. Just trade him to the Clippers so he can play New York. I'll roster him every time.
No.
No, but Melo against Washington, yeah, I like it. Fire it up. Is that 8,500? No, on FanDuel, man, I don't. He's 7,500 on DraftKings. I like it. On FanDuel, I don't like that. I don't know who you're going to cash small forward on FanDuel tomorrow. I really don't know.
I like Otto Porter at 6,600.
I don't know if I like that either. I might like it. I don't really love it. They've been trying to go small in New York. I don't know, man. I don't love it.
I'm not looking at Kawhi tomorrow, and then I'm not really looking at Ariza either.
Right. So who are we looking? That's what I'm saying. Who are we looking at? Like, who do we think profiles as a cash game play at small forward?
Otto Porter is my cash game, and for cash, Gallo. For GPP, Wilson Chandler.
Okay, I could see that narrative. I think you can maybe go Kid Gilchrist and cash too at his price. It just seems really tough on FanDuel where you have to get 2.
I like Kid Gilchrist though a lot tomorrow. He'll be sneaky, and then I love Otto Porter. Otto Porter's my favorite small forward play.
Yeah, I might not play any small forwards on DraftKings tomorrow. I might just use their position eligibility to flex into that role.
Man, that must be nice.
It is. It's beautiful. It really is fun building lineups on DraftKings.
Power forward.
Yes.
Where? I think the obvious one. The obvious is never obvious with Denver, but Kenneth Reed.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the more obvious plays of the night in any spot. Let's say 6,600.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. 5,500 on DraftKings. I think he's 5,400 on DraftKings. He's like a must play tomorrow. But still, it's tough, man. With Malone, I don't know. He got 37 minutes last game, and this matchup seems like it'd be perfect for him. But
which makes me think he'll get 15.
Yeah, it's like a opposite logic type of play. Who knows, man?
Anthony Davis against Toronto. It's a good matchup.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Anthony Davis is in a good spot, and so is DMC. For like a similar price. I feel like that's the decision you're going to have to make in a tournament. You rolling Davis in a good spot, or you're rolling with Cousins in a good spot. And I think we both agree that we'd rather roll with Cousins in a good spot.
Yes. I'm not really looking at Porzingis. Keefe is in play, though.
Yeah,
even though he's 69.
Yeah, I like Keefe over at Porter.
I think you can play both, though. They've shown that they can both go off.
Again, generally I don't like to do that, but unless I'm stacking, unless it's a shorter slate, but I guess this is a short slate, and they're playing the Knicks, so I don't know. His rebounding numbers have been increased lately. He's averaging over 9 rebounds a game in his last 10, which is almost 2.5 rebounds more than he's averaging on the entire season. So something's going on where his rebounding numbers are locked in. And that's what's upgraded his price, because his offensive game has been there. He's involved on both ends of the floor, and now that he's averaging close to double-digit rebounds, he's getting double-doubles. On DraftKings, he's really looking solid as of late.
I think that's it, man.
What, on power forward?
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't like Ryan Anderson.
No, I mean, I don't like Ryan Anderson either. I did notice today that Sac was a bottom 5 team in 3-point percentage, which I guess is somewhat of a bump to him. LaMarcus Aldridge is too high on Fan Duel. I think he comes into play at 6,700 on DraftKings in a matchup against Sabonis or whatever.
Or whatever.
Or whoever's going to be there, yeah. Dude, I did want to mention, I mentioned Campaign. Remember I mentioned Campaign prior to the last game against Cleveland? And how there's going to be an obvious void to fill in the second team.
Yeah.
For OKC without Canner. Well, I followed through on that trend, and both Joffrey Laverne and Cameron Payne played over 20 minutes and both exceeded value. So it seems like that's the two guys, and I mean, I feel like that could even be somewhat of a sneaky two-man stack on a second team, where you think in a game where they could possibly be blown out.
Payne and Laverne?
Yeah, like a tournament two-man stack to get some correlation in your value plays.
I like your thinking, Mike.
Again, nothing I'm advocating for, but it's something I'm watching going forward.
I like your thinking. I don't think Anthony Tolliver does what he did last game.
No.
Don't be surprised if people point chase, though.
I'm not surprised if Anthony Tolliver plays for 8 more teams before he retires.
That too. Mason Plumlee's absolutely in play tomorrow.
7,400. I don't know. I much more like it 6,500 on DraftKings. 7,400 is
steep.
I was really high on him when they played in Charlotte. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, because going back to Duke, I remember.
Yeah, I was really high on him, and he disappointed me. So maybe that's bias into this decision, but I like him at 6,500 on DraftKings, but on FanDuel where he's 74. And what's Gortat's price?
Gortat is 6,500.
Yeah, so I think I'd rather. Like, if Plumlee and Gortat were the same price, I might lean Plumlee. But if there's $1,000 in difference, I think I'm going to go Gortat. But I like Plumlee's spot. I mean, the dude is going off lately. Without Ed Davis, he has 6 double-doubles in his last 7 games. And that one game was against Charlotte. But still, 6 double-doubles in his last 7 games without Ed Davis. He's obviously getting a minutes increase, and Ed Davis is still doubtful to play tomorrow.
They should just shut him down for the year.
Yeah, we just like Plumlee. Did I miss when he played for the Nets? The guy, the play-by-play guy for the Nets, every time the guy dunked, he would go, and the plumber with the flush. I thought that was pretty clever.
The plumber with the flush. Wow. Interesting. Zubac, you mentioned him. It's a sneaky play, man.
Yeah, he's 30-plus DraftKings points in the last 2 games. High 20s in minutes. Extended run here. Do you think he still gets it? Or do you think they go back to what they were doing?
They should give him extended run with no Randall.
Yeah, if Randall's out, I imagine he'll stay in his role. The only thing I could caution is that maybe he's not on tomorrow and he's not playing as well as he was, and that causes them to sit him on the bench. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't see them like riding him through a cold spell tomorrow. But I mean, he's not like he's a shooter. He's a high efficiency guy, so I don't see how that happens. But I'm just going through all the spots in my mind.
No, I dig it.
Yeah, I like Zubac tomorrow against Fareed or whoever.
Would you look at Nurkic? I mean, he got in foul trouble last game, so that doesn't really help his cause.
Yeah, I guess so. I always look at centers against the Lakers. I mean,
yeah.
Nurkic has shown big upside too. So I think he's somewhat sneaky, and I think burned a lot of people last time. You know, I know he was industry chalk against Phoenix.
I was one of the people that didn't chalk him up.
Yeah, I was not high on him. I had Spencer Hawes in my cash lineup, and then I changed it to Nurkic because everybody else was on him, and sure enough, in my double ups, he was like 70% owned or something. So
I don't know. I wasn't high on him all day. Like,
neither was I. I fell for the trap, man. I did. I admit I fell for the stupid trap that is DFS sometimes. But yeah, so that just means that people are going to be biased against it, and he's in a good matchup. So maybe, I bet you Zubac's ownership will be higher than Nurkic tomorrow. What do you think? That's going to be the 2 punts right there.
That's a bold call.
I mean, I think.
Yeah, you might be right, dude. People are scared of. I mean, honestly, both these coaches have weird rotations. You can't predict them.
No, you can't. But I think if people are punting center tomorrow, that's where it's going to come from.
It will come from. I mean, it's when you're looking at scenarios and prices, right? Cheapest centers in probably the best position going up against each other.
Yeah, so I think you can project them both to have anywhere from 20 to 28 minutes tomorrow. Even though Nurkic only had 15 last game, again, you said he was in foul trouble. I don't know, but I think I still go Zubats over Nurkic tomorrow, personally.
I think I'm gonna go the opposite. I think I'm gonna go Nurkic. I faded him last game. I think I'm gonna give him a chance this game.
Okay. Full tilt. Let's do it. I like Hernan Gomez too.
You can have your Hernan Gomez.
No, I mean Hornet in the 4 overtime game. Hernan Gomez only played 4 minutes, so that has to mean that he's going to get 30 minutes tomorrow, right?
If we're judging based on rotation.
We're judging based on trends, which we love trends in daily fantasy. I'm pretty sure there's a solid trend that whoever plays the least amount of minutes at center for the Knicks plays the most amount of minutes at center the next game.
Shit's way too unpredictable.
You think I'm crazy, but look it up.
I believe you.
We'll figure out who is actually crazy, and I think it's probably going to be Jeff Hornacek.
What about Valanciunas against New Orleans?
JV's in a good spot, yeah. He's cheaper than... So he's fallen right in between the Gortat and Plumlee and the Zubats and Nurkic. So maybe he gets the least amount of ownership. I think he's in a good spot. I think this is going to be a close game. Obviously, that's something we look at with him. What's the spread on this game? 8.5. I don't know. I think he's in a good spot, just like from afar.
I like playing against New Orleans centers.
Yeah, it's paid off in the past.
What about Nogueira?
I think I'm off it, man. Now that Pat's playing high 20s, kind of getting his roll back.
Well, we didn't talk about him, actually. Do you think he's a punt play tomorrow?
Yeah, you can look at him tomorrow. He's 3,500, and now he's got his minutes back. I mean, he's got Anthony Davis to deal with. I imagine that they'll shift JV on Anthony Davis as much as they can.
Yeah. Has his minutes gone down? I'm gonna look. I just want to see his minutes real quick. Oh yeah, he only played 12 minutes last game. Yeah, definitely.
Who? Bebe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. Another coach with weird rotations though, and it's But now that DeRozan's back and Patterson is back, I think we're going to go back to seeing,
Valanciunas' usage is going to drop.
Yeah, but I think we're going to go back to see normal rotation, so it's going to become easier to predict. I think that somewhat benefits Terrence Ross, too. We'll see him becoming more back to being his six-man role on this team.
Do you think they go back to the Patrick Patterson starting the second half?
Patrick Patterson starting in the second half?
Because they were starting Siakam and then Pat in the second half.
Oh yeah, possibly, but still, I think the minutes. I think we can go back to seeing the same sort of minutes distribution that we saw earlier this season. And I think Terrence Ross is in play tomorrow too as a punt against New Orleans.
I'm iffy on Terrence Ross right now.
Again, I have this notion that they're going to go back to the similar rotations, and if he becomes the sixth man again on this team, it's the two guys that play the most off the bench for Toronto have been Corey Joseph and Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross gets his minutes, but he's super streaky, and he just had a good game, so that makes
he did?
Yeah, he just had because I rostered him. I took a punt flyer on him.
So he had a good game, so the next time he's not going to have a good game, so you're trying to say.
Yeah, he had 17 points in 28 minutes.
Okay,
24
well,
FanDuel points.
I guess he's kind of always in play for a game like that. One thing I want to talk about before we leave the show is this Houston center position. I know Nene burned a lot of people in our group recently. Because Nene was he put together 2 straight good games.
And then they didn't play.
And then he didn't play, but that's why you got to watch these injury news closer to lock, because literally 15 minutes before lock, they said Harrell was starting. And anytime I see Harrell starting, that means that they're trying to play small. Anytime I see Nene starting or getting in a bunch of minutes, it's because they're trying to combat their opposition. So this center role is based on matchups, and I think with Boogie coming to town tomorrow, we're gonna see less Harrell and more Nene. Nene's only 3,300 on DraftKings. I think he's a tournament punt. Whereas on FanDuel, I don't think you look at him at that price.
Do you think that they throw Ryan Anderson on Kufis?
There's an image.
I mean,
they started Kufis, but Willie Cauley-Stein has been getting a lot of minutes recently on this road trip.
Well, regardless of who it is, Ryan Anderson has to guard someone. Who's it going to be? Are you going to put Ryan Anderson on Boogie?
I don't know that it even matters. Like, I think they're okay with just leaving Kufis unguarded. Unless he's in the paint, then they just kind of shift to when he gets the ball. You know what I mean?
Kufis has a nasty sky hook, though.
No, but they're gonna need two guys on Cousins anyway, so why not just take whoever's on Kufis and just let him. If he catches the ball, we'll put somebody on him. But let's just take that chance and let him be open. That's how I think teams game plan. All right, we got DeMarcus Cousins and Costa Kufis. So if you're on Kufis, leave him every time Boogie gets the ball.
Until he's open.
I think that's probably got to be the game plan, right?
Kufis is an ugly motherfucker.
Man, Costa's a sweet name, though.
Oh, man. All right, so give me... What happened?
And that's how we end the show, talking about...
Kufis. Give me your number one GPP play and number one cash play.
Overall, I'm going to go with, not the person I think that is going to... score the most points, but I think the sneakiest play. So, I think I'm going to stick with Wilson Chandler, and in tournaments.
Okay.
That's my favorite tournament play, and in cash, I'm going to stick with John Wall.
Yep, I was going to agree with you on John Wall. I love John Wall in cash. And
go Lou Will.
How you know?
I just know. I thought about him too, though.
Lou Will's a cash play for me too.
So I also think Kemba's a really good tournament play tomorrow.
He is.
Just there.
But Lou Will is the ultimate play tomorrow. Lou Will is going to be locked in all of my lineups before anyone else.
So if I'm going to go tournament plays at each position tomorrow, it's Kemba, Lou Will, Wilson Chandler, Porzingis, and Anthony Davis for tournaments. In cash, I go Wall, Batum, Melo, Markieff Morris, and DeMarcus Cousins.
I don't know why. Why do you like Markieff more than Otto Porter?
Just because of his consistent, consistent. He gets higher usage on offense, and he's averaging close to 10 rebounds a game in his last 10, and that to me is enough.
Okay.
To put him over. So what limits him offensively? So obviously he's more of a putback guy, post guy. He doesn't really shoot the three, but what limits him offensively, I like what he makes up for that in rebounding. So I think that's more of a cash play, is what I'm trying to say.
Keefe is a cash play. That's interesting.
Yes.
I don't think
Yeah, more than tournament play.
I never would have thought I'd hear Keith is a cash play.
Got that Keith and Cash, bro. Fine, you were trying to make me back this up. So,
What the fuck?
34, 32, 43, 36, 38, 31, 40, 50 in his last 8 fantasy points.
His floor's been safe. It's odd to hear Markeith Morris is a cash play.
I know, it is strange. It really is. But I think he's kind of, like I said, the rebounding numbers have what elevated his floor. If he continues to rebound like he's been doing over the last 10 games, his floor is going to be elevated.
Okay. Give me your favorite 3 guys under 5K tomorrow on FanDuel. Actually, you do DraftKings. Give me your DraftKings players. I'll do FanDuel.
There are guys under 5K tomorrow. Gary Harris, Ivica Zubats, and Nene.
Someone wants to know if you can play all 5 Houston starters tomorrow on DraftKings.
I mean, it's possible, yes. But that would require you to play Ryan Anderson.
George would back that. George would back that.
No, I think Harden, Eric Gordon, and Pat Bev, and then Nene.
So my 3 favorite plays under 5K tomorrow. Nurkic. Sam Decker. And Patrick Patterson.
I like it. I like the call. Again, we didn't talk about Spencer Hawes, but I think he's a cash game punt at center as well tomorrow.
Only
if Zeller's out.
Okay,
Zeller is considered doubtful. Obviously, he's partially practiced on Monday. And without Zeller, Hawes averaged 27 minutes and 26 DraftKings points. So close to a point per minute. So if he gets 25 minutes again, he's looking at, right around value. So in cash, maybe you can go there.
Okay. I dig it.
I dig it.
Well, shit. As always, guys, make sure you're following those social media links up above. Both Facebook pages, the Twitter. And now, if you're interested in getting these sheets, there's a link in the description. Follow that PayPal link.
Let's type up the sheets. What do they do, Kyle?
All right, so let's go through them real quick. Okay, so here on the left or on the right, you have DVP. And I'm going to start including DraftKings DVP as well. It's all color-coded for you, right? It's each position DVP. And what DVP is, it's defense versus position. Red is bad. Well, good for us, bad for the team. It means that team is terrible against that position. And you can look at what they're giving up over the season, their last 5 and the last 10. I like to look at all 3 because I like to look at trends. If a team is consistently bad like the Rockets are against center over the season, last 5 and last 10, that tells me they're a good play and circumstances aren't dictating that. When I see a team like, let's look at the Timberwolves right here. They're down here, and then last 5 they're terrible, but over their last 10 they're okay. That makes me look into this a little deeper and say, why are they bad over their last 5? Who have they played? So it's an extra tool right there. And then you have this. You have the master sheet, which has all the player pools. Or all the player pricing, what they need for 5 times value, 6 times value, their points per game, position, all that. And then my player pool. So I give you guys my top 5 players at each position on FanDuel. So point guard, shooting guard, small forward. And I give you their average, their floor, their ceiling, and projection. And then This will look a little different because now there's going to be 2 sheets. But this is from last night's games. So I have every player that has a projection, their position, their team, what they score average, their floor, their ceiling, their projection for the day, what their salary is, what I think their minutes will range, and then what their value is from the floor, ceiling, and projected. So obviously what that is their price divided by 1,000 divided by this and whatever that value is. Someone wants to know what. Sorry, just to interrupt real quick. Someone wants to know what a good example of price or what is price point chasing. Sorry.
It's like a form of bias, you know.
Like basically, a player has a really good game last game, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't play him. I need to get on him.
Like Mike Conley today, he had a career high. So people, I guess Mike Conley's not a good example. It's more of somebody that
James Harden.
No, I don't think not James Harden either. I think it's someone that like doesn't usually do that. Like, who's a good example? Tristan Thompson today was a good example. He had 50 DraftKings points against Oklahoma City, and on a Sunday, and then today everybody was high on him against Dallas. And that would be considered points chasing because he put up 50 DraftKings points for the first time this whole season, and so. He kind of puts it on the radar. He puts himself on the radar as a player where he might not have originally been in that matchup.
I like this one a lot better, Mike. Point chasing is playing someone who did well in a previous game that never fucking hoops normally.
There you go. That's straight up definition right there.
I like that. So this is a great tool because you can sort where value is. I love using the projected value tool because it kind of gives me an idea of where you're looking. Obviously, with cash, you want a safer floor. With GPP, you want a higher ceiling, so you can sort by that. And then by projected value, this is just based on their projection. And then now we've included DraftKings projections. I'm working on this as we speak in the sheet, and this will have their pricing and positions as well. Obviously, the projections are just a little different. And then you have my optimal lineups. So this is based on my projections and what this will return. These are the ones from today. Speaking of that, let's look at the main. This one did really well today, Mike. The main one right here. This was a GPP. And so from left to right, you have the top 5 lineups unfiltered, no fades, no locks, based on projection. And then in the middle, you have them based on ceiling, which is more GPP play. And then on the right, you have cash, so a higher floor. And everyone loved this lineup today. Everyone loved this lineup today. And I made a tweak. I changed out Goran Dragic for Mike Conley. And I went from Brandon Knight to Jaylen Brown. Which, all in all, wasn't bad because Mike Conley outperformed Goran Dragic.
Yeah, that was definitely a good call.
So,
Mike Conley, Mike Conley, Andre Drummond, Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
Solid building blocks.
And James Johnson went off. He had 36. Andrew Wiggins had 42.
Yeah, we talked about James Johnson last night.
So, again, you'll get all the optimal lineups, and these will update throughout the day, obviously based on injury news, and then I try and update them as often as I can. I can't guarantee every day, but I work on it. You have all-day slate today, the main slate, express, and late. So you'll get every slate based on main, optimal, and then I also give you guys the tools to do it yourself. So I include each thing right here. So this is optimal, this is based on projections. And you have the ability to go in and lock and fade players. So if I want to lock in that guy, I'm just going to hit a capital L right there. If I want to fade him, a capital F. And this person will return in my lineup every time. This person will never return in my lineup. So
So for someone that uses this almost every day, what I like to do with this player, with this section right here, is I'll generally go in and I'll fade most guys. Like I'll pretty much create a player pool by fading people, if that makes sense. And so I'll fade people until I have, like, say I have 5 per position, or just kind of fading until I have like a player pool that I like, and then I'll run optimal lineups. To something that I tend to do.
And you can run up to 5 right now. So I have the top one. So there's a whole link in the email group that I send out, and that gives you in there. There's an Excel sheets explained video. So watch that if you're having trouble. But you have the top optimal, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have the GPP tab. So this will formulate one based on their ceiling, and then you have a cash one, right? And obviously it's just zoomed out because I was messing with it. And then here you have team stats. So this is the pace. So I'm a proponent of pace, and higher pace means more possessions and a quicker game. So you're looking at rostering, guys on the nets or playing the nets, things like that. So that's just another factor. And then you have this here. This is player stats, and this is every single player in the NBA. And this is their minutes per game, their number of rebounds per game, their assists per game, their steals, blocks, turnovers, fouls, points per game, their usage percentage, and their field goal percentage. So, and you can sort any player you want. So if you're like, I want to know how Russell Westbrook is. Bam. And then you just go back up here and clear it.
You can also sort by team too, which is something I like to do. So say you want to find the highest usage guy on this person's team. Like say tomorrow, let's look at Washington playing the Knicks. I mean, a lot of these Washington guys we've said were in play, so we want to see what kind of stats they're putting up comparison to their teammates.
Obviously, John Wall's at 30% usage. And Keith is at 20%.
This is just a one-stop shop, so you don't have to have like 20 tabs open on your computer going up against Basketball Reference or stats, NBA.com stats, or we're trying to put it all together for you guys. So this is your one stop. That's it.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're just going to keep adding content, like Mike said, and it's only going to get better, I promise. But we're trying to give you all the tools so you don't have to go other places. You'll have everything right here for you.
Yep, you can come up with your own research and present it to everybody else, including us, and we can all use it. We can all use it to create the best lineups in the world.
Yes, sir.
Win all the money.
If you're new to the channel, again, the link to sign up for the sheets is in the description. You get a free 7-day trial. After that, it is $9.99 a month, and you are free to cancel at any time. So if you don't enjoy them and you don't want to use them, you can try that for the free 7 days, and then after that it'll just rescind and you go from there. But feel free to give it a shot and see how you like them. I am more than confident that you will enjoy them, especially with the content. The optimal lineups are an amazing tool to use, and they are real stats. I've heard a lot of bad things about other sites' projections. I find it very rare that you'll get a lineup that's projected over 300. That happens quite frequently. And as we all know, lineups are routinely over 300. So there's no reason for a lineup not to ever get over 300 projected-wise. When you're looking at an optimal lineup, the best possible one, it doesn't make sense that your highest projected lineup would not be over 300. So I keep my projections real. I'm not afraid to be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think I have several theories about why that could be, but either way, we're just get on board with us. If you're here already, if you're still here listening to this video and you trust us, you trust our picks, and you're using some of what we say and using some of your own knowledge and some of your own eye test. If you're watching the games and you're part of this community, stay on board. I promise, there's great things coming.
Yeah, it's a lot of good things coming. And once the website's up, man, it's going to be even better. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be a beautiful thing.
So, all right, guys. Well, again, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been awesome. I am super stoked about where we're going. Everything's just going to go up from here, I promise. It's only going to keep getting better.
I'm going to shout out the people. Sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Before we end, I always forget. We're going to try and get this better at this. start at the beginning of the show, but I do want to give a shout out because we do it every day. So the winners of today's contest, they need the shout out on the show, right, Kyle?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They've 100% earned the shout out, and especially when your name is ManCow72. I mean, ManCow72 took down the Money Melee with a 331.5 line. Top three finishers on the Melee were within 5 points of each other, so it was a heck of a finish. Congrats to you. No late night hammers, and this dude hung on to the top line.
That's surprising.
Yeah, it is. It is surprising. On FanDuel, our winner rocking the logo, Z Bailey Bop. Z Bailey Bop rocking the logo, and he also didn't have any late night hammers. So perhaps this was a theme. 361.6. So again, you guys, if you're in the Facebook group, you're following us on Twitter, you have seen today's power rankings and where you guys stand. And I mean, most of us were only a couple wins out of first place, so stick with it. It's free to put a lineup in. Might as well, right? You're building lineups every day anyway. But that's all I got.
All right, man. Well, thank you guys again, as always. Look forward to talking to you soon. I will get these sheets out shortly. Probably take a quick nap, and then I'll get up and finish it before work. So have a wonderful night. Talk to you soon.
Have a good day, guys. Good luck.